Hi, my name is Deshelle and I blog at hidethechocolate.com. You can find me on Facebook at Hide the Chocolate or on Instagram at Hide the Chocolate Blog. Today I'm going to be talking about our morning meetup. Recently I did an article called Our Morning Meetup and 7 Steps to a Low Stress Morning. And several people have asked me to show a little bit more about what that looks like in real life. So I thought I would give you a little more of an example of what we do and show you some of the things we work with each morning. Now this varies a little bit, but this is in general our routine. So usually I will wake around say 7 in the morning, and I will start getting the girls up at that time, and I give them till about 9 o'clock in the morning to get themselves up, awake, brush their teeth, that kind of thing, fix their breakfast, those kind of things, and then come down for morning meetup. We meet in the library because there's comfortable couch and chairs there. They like to get in their bean bags, but wherever's fine. And I have a morning basket that I keep with me with all our information. I have a binder, just a simple binder that I keep all of my morning meetup information in. So we'll just walk through what I do in a normal day. So we usually start with our 100 days of school. My kids love these printouts. This was kind of beat up, but we keep them on clipboards, and it has the 100 days, and they just write in the day as they come to it. This is a favorite of theirs. They love it. And then on the 100th day, we have a 100th day celebration. So it gives them something to look forward to. Then we start to go with our prayer journals. So we get out our prayer journals, and these are just little journals that I bought at like Michael's or Hobby Lobby, and they write in them anything they want to pray about, and then we have our morning prayer. And that's how we start off our day. Then we go into our memory work time, and so we will start with every other day we have memory work. So we'll start with either a new memory work or a former one. So I keep these in the index cards in the spiral with a spiral binder. Then they have the year's worth, or actually this is several years worth of memory verses, poems, and various other things that we memorize. And that way we can keep up with all our memory work at one place. And I'll just add those in there at the beginning of the term. I use Pam Barnhill's Plan Your Year forms, and she has some great forms for the memory work. They'll look like this, and you can put all your memory work on there that you've had over the years so that you can go through and check off when you've reviewed them, so you know which ones you reviewed last, so that you can keep going over different ones and not just repeating the same ones. So I love those forms and Plan Your Year. Okay, then on the days that we're not doing memory work every other day, we do vocabulary. So a vocabulary is we use Marie's ACT or SAT vocabulary cards. And I just take some of them and I put them in these little Pokemon card things or baseball card things. And you can see what the card is on the outside. So I show this to the kids, and then I read off what the definition is. And I tell them the synonyms and antonyms of each one. They got some cute little different words there. They're kind of neat the way they visualize them. And then each time we start with memory work, we go over the ones that we've already done, and they tell me the definition, then we'll start some new ones. So that's every other day. After memory work, we do picture study. So I found these great books from Queen Homeschool, Pictures in Cursive, and they have different levels. This is book A. My other daughter is in book D. And I decided to use the cursive, but they do, I believe, have manuscript versions too. But the great things about these are they have great pictures in here. So you can do a great picture study. I just hold this up, let them look at it for about a minute or two, and then I put it down and ask them questions about it or let them tell me things to help them to remember the details and things in the pictures. It helps with their memory and their recall, and helps them to notice details and things. Then that's on Monday and Tuesday we do that. And then on Wednesday and Thursdays, they do their copy work, which is just right here. Like, again, this is my older daughter's. My younger daughter, this is my younger daughter's. My older daughter's is a little bit smaller and more writing on there. So it's just a little bit different there. But these are great. And they come in, I think they're about 12 weeks long. I think maybe, yeah, 12 weeks long. So you can do like a whole semester with these picture studies. Okay, after that we go into our digit spans. We have auditory digit spans and we have visual digit spans. And people have asked a lot of that questions about that. So what that is I found that my daughter's recall was suffering a little bit, and I wanted to try to help them to get up their memory a little bit, especially when it came to the math and they were having to do their math facts and things like that. Their recall was a little shorter than I thought they could have. So we started working on the visual digit span. So let me just pull one of those out and show you. Or the auditory ones. I just made up cards. They're nothing fancy, just little index cards. And again, I put them in the baseball card thing. And they just have different numbers. And they go start with 3 all the way to 9. And I just read out one of the cards. And then they repeat it to me after I've hidden the card, obviously. We go up as far as they can do that. Or I show them visually the card and give them a few seconds to look at it, and then they repeat it back to me. And so we do this we're up to about 8 or 9 digits now. What you want to do is, for the age of the child, you need to be that many digits. So if you have a 5-year-old, you want to be able to do 5 digits, recall 5 digits. However, it's 7 digits. That's what an average adult should be able to remember. So if you'll notice, our telephone numbers are 7 digits. That's because of that reason. That's what an average adult's supposed to recall. So anything over 7 digits is actually really good for your memory. So that's what our auditory and visual digit spans are. And I've really noticed a difference with the kids on that, is that they've been able to recall much more because of that. Okay, after we do our visual and auditory digit spans, we move into our morning basket read aloud. So right now we're doing medieval ages, or the Middle Ages, and so we're reading things like A Castle in Many Rooms, Horrible Histories, the Measly Middle Ages. We have some Drawn Right Through History. We have Delaire's book of Norse Myths. This is a favorite. My kids love Delaire's books. So this is a favorite of theirs. And then we just use a loop schedule to just decide when to read these, so that they're not reading the exact same book every time. While they're reading, a lot of times I'll let them use these Dover coloring books to color with, so they can choose whatever they want to color in that, or they can. My older daughter likes to a lot of times just sketch while she's reading, or sometimes they just like to lay there and listen to while I read aloud. So those are just different read alouds that we do that have a specific topic that we're going on. We've used ancient Egypt, we've worked with ancient Greece, with ancient Rome, so now we're in the Middle Ages, and that's just kind of what we're studying, but it doesn't have to be anything like that. We also then, after that, we'll go into our morning basket read aloud, which is usually a fiction book. Like, for example, right now we're reading Harry Potter, The 100 Dresses, different books like that we're reading depending on what we're doing. If we're going to go to a play, we want to read a book before we go see the play or the movie. Sometimes it's for book club if we're reading a book together. A lot of times the girls will do different books for book club, and sometimes when they're doing together, we'll read aloud. So those are just the monthly read alouds. After we get through with that, we will do a planning time, and we just each get out our planners. So my girls have their own planners, and I have my own planner, and we just sit down and we go through. On Mondays we go through the entire week. If it's the beginning of a month, we'll go through the month and note any special days that we need to do anything. But we go through the entire week, so they know things like, hey, we got art class today, we're going to be leaving the house, or we have poetry tea time, we're going to the library, or we have book club, or whatever we're doing, that we're leaving the house to do this, or we're expected of it to do. My older child, we use homeschool tracker, so she will get on the homeschool tracker and she will get on the computer and she will look at her assignments for that day and that week, and she can handle that on her own. My younger I will go over things that we'll be doing each day so that she knows, hey, this is what I need to accomplish this day or this week. And I think this is just a really good way for my kids. It helps them to it keeps the drama down, because they know what's happening, they know what's going to be happening, they know what's expected on this week or today. And so this is something that's not going to be a surprise to them. They're going to know what's expected of them, what I expect them to get done, and we just have less drama that way. So that's what we do after that. Now, after we do our plan review, then we do any subjects that we do together. For example, we do Tennessee history together. So we'll do Exploring Tennessee History, and I'll just read that with them. We'll do our partnership writing with Brave Writer. We'll do that together. That'll do we do our Bible in the morning together. So there's various things. Now on Friday, we do things a little bit differently. We have Fun Fridays. So on Fridays, instead of going through all the morning basket, the morning meetup, we'll do our prayer journal, we'll do our picture study. One of the things that I hadn't mentioned we do is we do a little geography. Oops, I just dropped all my books. I found out that we weren't getting as much geography as I liked. People didn't know where things were in our house. So I thought we would do a little more of that. So here's an example of my youngest. I just made a copy of a European map and got that on my notebook pages, and I put it in one of these little transparency things you can get off Amazon. And then I let them, we talk about the different places, and they do highlight them, and then we talk about where this place is, what's next to it, what's the name of it, what's capital, things like that. And then on Fridays, I just do a little quiz to see if they knew what was where. And so that's just a little thing we do to kind of help with our geography on that. Also on Fridays, we'll do a fine arts block. So we like to use the chalkpastels.com, and we'll pull out the tutorials there, and we'll do a little thing that goes with what we're doing right now. We're doing the medieval or Middle Ages one. We've done the space one. So we'll just get those out, and I love to do those. I could just do them for hours. They're so much fun. They're relaxing. So we just sit there and we'll work on those and do that because that's our Fun Friday. And so we don't have as much stuff together on that day because we won't do our Tennessee history or anything like that. Also, things that I put in sporadically in Morning Meetup, and this is kind of looped, so I don't do it all the time, but we'll have a loop that has composers or artists, just things that I think will get left out if I don't put them somewhere. So here's a little block schedule that I have. I used, again, another one of these block schedule planners from Planning Year. And like this first term, we're doing composer study, so we'll be talking about different composers and listening to that. Then we have artist study and Shakespeare study. So that's just some of the things that we do that looping so they don't get forgotten. So that's pretty much our morning meetup. And if you want more information or know where to look, come to hidethechocolate.com and look at our morning meetup blog posts.